Hi everyone, so welcome back, and we'll start with our previous slide deck where we spoke about the types of transmission media. We spoke about a lot of wired stuff, but it's time now to talk about some wireless stuff. So, while we talk about wireless stuff, but before I go there, I also need to give you a small brief about types of transmission that happen. Basically we know what are the types of what are the types of equipments, wired or wireless or even the hardware, but how does transmission happen? One of them is unicast, which is one to one. One of them is anycast or multicast or broadcast. So the picture here is self unicast. So these are definitions: unicast, anycast, broadcast, multicast. The words that you see are technological definitions of different types of communication or types of transmission. You can also call them types of communication. Basically, types of moving data from one one equipment to another, or one person to another, whatever, one device to another device rather. I'll move to broadcast. All our radio channels, they're all broadcasted over a distance, a 98.3 or a 91.4, whatever it is. That is in simple way broadcast. The third I'll talk about is multicast. Again, let's say there are 25 people sitting in the office, in Delhi office, and Vinay stands up and calls 3 people into a conference room, and he addresses only to these 3 people. So basically that is a multicast kind of a transmission where you address to some specific people. Okay, now there is normally these 3 are the normal standards: unicast, multicast and broadcast. But there are also specific multicast also is further broken into something called anycast, where if you recollect or if you experience in a meeting where there are 3 people, one guy is giving speech to 3 people, but he's addressing something specific to one of the 3 people, then it is something called anycast. So most of the times it is the closest of the many. So in the many, if you see there are 3, the closest one is this, hence anycast is closest of many. Now I'm speaking on the laptop here, because it is connected to internet, it is fine. Let's say I'm sitting in my room and I'm shouting in my home. Probably my daughter who's outside the room can hear me, but my wife and my mom who are in the second or third room cannot hear me. So anycast is like me talking to my daughter who can hear, but the other 2 cannot hear because of distances beyond. So these are the types of transmission or communication, or you can even say data transfer. Today we are talking networking, so I'll also say types of data transfer. I'm hoping that this makes sense, that what kinds of transmissions actually happen. I'll take a pause and I'll take some yeses on chat, please. Okay, we already have so many yeses. Excellent. Okay, all right, so now we'll move further. I'll go to the next one. Okay, so I'm again going back to an older slide, and then I'll correlate with something more. We have seen this slide deck before: LAN, MAN, WAN, and PAN. And then I also spoke about some realistic deployments called campus area networks and data center networks. But are they the only ones, or there do exist some more types of networks? So I'm going to a little more, because these are all relevant to our day-to-day use cases. The first one is very simple, basic, known as wireless LAN. At our home, we have a wireless LAN network where you have some sort of a modem or a router or a wireless device or whatever. You can see the picture and you can kind of imagine to some extent. I mean, this is self-explanatory. I don't need to even double click and explain this further, but you must have some sort of a router, or some sort of a wireless access point, which actually transmits signal across the home, and you connect your smartphones and laptops. This is pretty much similar to our offices also. while our office IT network is a wired network. For flexibility for moving things, we keep Wi-Fi connectivity as well. I mean, you all Delhi people, you all go to Dheeraj Bisht if your Wi-Fi is not getting accessible or internet is not working and things like that. And if he doesn't know, then you go and catch Rajiv that no sir, kuch gadbad hai, kuch chal nahi raha hai, whatever. So wireless LAN is part of the office LAN, where wired is always there, and you also have wireless. And in day-to-day new age offices, they don't even keep wireline LAN, simple LAN, office LAN. They only keep wireless LAN. So that is WLAN, or also known as wireless local area network. The other one is VPN. We at Indovision do not keep VPN setups. While we have a secure setup, but we don't run a dedicated VPN kind of a setup. But most corporate companies who work in different locations, let's say, Tata Motors. Tata Motors has an office in Delhi. Tata Motors has an office in Mumbai. They have their own office network, which they do not allow other people to connect, which is also known as intranet. So to connect and to run your office applications like SAP, or we have something like Dollybar, but it is accessible from internet. But most companies have
हमने भी VPN बनाया हुआ है एक्चुअली. जो हमारी टैली है ना, वो टैली हमारी ऑफिस में सर्वर पे होस्टेड है. बट अब जो अपने अकाउंट के बंदे हैं, they are connecting to that office server through VPN only.
Cisco AnyConnect.
Excellent, fantastic. So that is something, that is a VPN where this is one office in, so probably say Mumbai. This is one office say in Delhi. You have some sort of a security thing called firewall. Now this can be a hardware, this can be a software, can be anything. Firewall can be hard, and we will talk about that later. But technically, people who have only worked on computers, they know firewall as an antivirus software in their desktops and laptops. People who have worked on networking side, they also know, in addition to firewall being an antivirus software, there are also hardware equipments called firewalls which are actually deployed, very small to large size of equipments. So we will anyway come to those topics later. But this is for secure access. Now, for example, like Vinay said, we use Tally on a VPN. So basically, let's assume Vishal is sitting here, and our office setup is something here, and Vishal is using this secure VPN to connect to the office network, where the server, wherever it is deployed. Now, throughout this path, nobody knows what is inside. A tunnel is created, like you see a tunnel, an encrypted secure tunnel is created. Which, for example, you're sending a courier from Delhi office to Bombay office. Courier में आपने समझ लो 10 pamphlet भेजे हैं, 10 pamphlets of Indovision. You put it in a bag, you pack it, seal it, and then you send it. All through, the courier guy can only see the cover. He cannot see what is inside. Whether it is pamphlets, whether it is money, whatever it is, they don't see inside. That is how encryption works. So simple, ऊपर कुछ wrapping कर दिया है या ऊपर कोई encryption कर दिया है, so that you cannot see what is inside. That is a VPN. So you see this is a VPN tunnel. Tunnel is created from this location to this location. Wherever the security is getting implemented, from this location to this location, this is where the tunnel is. It is decrypted into readable format. It is decrypted into readable format at the other ends. That's how Vishal is using VPN to access Tally, for example, like Vinay mentioned. And then the third is storage area network. This is a little technical, so I will not go too deep into it. But assume that you are a stock market company like the National Stock Exchange, or the Bombay Stock Exchange, who have lots and lots of trades. Lot of data to be stored. Then you start building storage area networks. If you see this diagram, you'll probably not understand so much. Just keep it in mind, and we will come to this topic at some point of time. But VPNs are required for secure data transfer. Storage area networks are actually created primarily to keep a lot of storage, right? So in this diagram that you see on the right, you have some tape library where you have stored, or you have some disk array where you have stored, and different types of users using different types of OSs are actually accessing via a storage area network to access the data on this storage devices, tapes or disks or whatever. I'll not talk too much into it because then it will become too technical a conversation. The reason why I mentioned storage area network is because they use a different type of communication where it is written as fiber channel, and this will come into play at some point of time when we will discuss later on data centers or on different types of storage area network deployments. I'll take a pause again, like every slide I do, and take some yeses, please. If things are okay, if not, then please ask me questions. Do we have clarity on wireless LANs and VPNs, a little bit on SANs? Okay, good. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Khushbu, Dania, and Sahil. Okay, all right. Now we move further. Right. Now starts, now that I have made you understand types of different transmission medium, how transmission happens, wired access, wired transmission, wireless transmission, and so many things. Now we'll come to devices and components. Like, what are we selling? And I'm not going to talk about the companies. I'm going to actually define the types of devices that we either use or we sell or we deploy. And we'll go in a very simple, easy fashion. We'll start with the most simple device or a component that we all know, that is a computer. We all know what is a computer, laptops, desktops, they are all part of the computer world. I don't have to explain, so just I've put a few exclamation marks that I'm not going to explain what a computer is, right? I'm just going to skip that. Now the next one is a workstation. What is a workstation? Normally computers with high graphic cards for heavy display or high processing that you need are workstations. Now, what is an example of workstation where it is deployed? If you go to a police control room, you see 10, 15, 20 televisions or monitors, right? Those actually process a lot of information and they do a lot of graphical display. Those are workstations. Those are not computers. They have high CPU. CPU is processing, backend processing power, and high graphics card, so that the display is also of high definition. So that is a workstation. Many people call computers as workstations and computers. They correlate between them, especially people who are not in IT. In any other field, they think computers and workstations are the same. Some people even call the cubicle where we sit as a workstation. That is a workstation. But for a technological field or for the field that where we are, workstations are computers with high graphics or high processing. Servers, we all must have studied in our life a server client architecture. Just 1 second, I'm getting a call. You should presentation. Thank you. Sorry, people. So you must have gone through server client architecture, or you have heard about servers and clients. In most companies, there are servers deployed and there are clients which connect to the server. This could be via internet or via the local LAN within our offices, anything of that sort. Sorry. LAN. So server is the one where heavy processing happens that serves multiple clients, like a mobile phone or a laptop or a desktop or a workstation that connects. Server client is a basic thing that we must have studied in our school days in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th standard, where we all know the basics of this. I'm just refreshing for you guys that these are all the types of devices or components that will come. I am on customer call. Okay. All right, so we'll move to the next item, storage. Okay, we spoke about SAN, storage area network, in the previous slide. So There are two types of storage, basic kinds of storage in our networking field, SAN as well as NAS. SAN stands for storage area network, where memories or where data is stored in blocks. But NAS, also known as network attached storage, it is there the files are stored as is. So this is like a file server or a NAS server where files are stored as they are. But in SAN, files are stored in blocks. So I will not go deeper into that. You just need to know there are different types of storage solutions. One is a SAN storage kind of a solution. One is a NAS storage kind of solution. There are further more, but we don't need to go deeper into that. We'll skip that. Storage is what you should know. And these two are the mostly deployed types of storage. I will actually write here network attached storage. Okay, anyway, then we move UPS, an uninterruptible power supply. I have written something called a UE. Let me explain that in a moment. We all know what a UPS is. Power supply at our home sometimes goes off, so we deploy UPS so that there is continuous power supply. Batteries are used for additionally stored power or for power backup. I've also written BBOUE. Now, these are my terms. What you see here are my terms. UE in telecommunications is known as user equipment, which is nothing but a mobile phone. Now imagine a UPS is a mobile phone which has its own battery. Let's say a 4000 mAh battery. Okay, so a UPS is nothing but a mobile phone which has a 4000 mAh battery. Now, what is BBOUEE, which I have noted down here? It is nothing but battery bank of UE. Let's say you've bought another battery bank of say 10,000 mAh and you use it every single day. So UPS and battery ka definition is very simple. UPS is like your mobile phone which has an inbuilt battery. So it continuously runs, but as and when the battery reduces or degrades, the additionally stored power comes from additional battery bank. Same concept, UPS and battery is like a mobile phone, the battery bank that we carry along with us for continuous usage of our mobile phone. That is all in simple English. Okay, I need to talk about this. All right. Power supplies, AC and DC, alternating current and direct current. Different types of, okay, let's start with AC. AC is used mostly in our homes. Like all the plugs there where you connect a 2-pin or a 3-pin, all the sockets where you connect your 2 or 3-pin plugs, that's all alternating current. Actually, there is a diagram here, but because of this thing, you're not able to see it. Let me wrap this off. You know what's a battery bank and a UPS, UPS and batteries. I will wrap this off. Okay, so this is AC, where the power supply actually goes up and down. It is time based, but in DC it is continuous power supply. So long distances, short distances, we choose and deploy AC or DC based on our usage. In hindsight, or in simple terms, if I put in, wherever you need smaller equipments to be powered, we use AC power supplies like mobile phones, laptops, desktops. In simple terms, wherever extremely large equipments like data centers or telecom networks, you use DC power supplies. So where the power consumption is continuous and heavy. So because AC we can actually reduce or increase the alternating current magnitude easily. In DC it is difficult to increase or reduce the magnitude, which is the reason why we use AC for smaller applications and DC for larger applications. Power cables, I don't have to explain this. 3-pin or 2-pin power cables that you see that you connect to your laptops and desktops and all that, they're all corresponding power cables. And again, for DC, you actually use just plain copper, which is protected with rubber or different types of material over and above that. Basic copper cable, thick copper cables that you use for DC. Now, so here is something I will stop. I had actually not prepared for this slide deck, but let me add that concept also in this slide deck right now. This is on the fly. So I told you that transmission of data, or let me write it, transmission of data happens in copper or fiber. And fiber does higher speeds, copper does lesser speeds. Okay. And when you see power supplies and cables, these are also cables, copper cables. In fact, let me mention this, that these are also copper cables. Both of them are copper cables. It's just they connect differently. Now, when data can be transmitted in copper, and when power can be transmitted in copper, will this create an issue, or can we take advantage of this? क्या ये problem statement है या क्या ये future statement? The answer is that it is a future statement. There is a technology that has developed called, it is not in my slide deck, I'm doing it on the fly. There's a technology that is developed called PoE, Power over Ethernet. Okay, इसमें भी अलग अलग levels है, PoE है, PoE plus है, PoE plus plus है. Power over Ethernet means, like I told you, the copper transmission that happens, where you have those, if you remember those shielded twisted pair cables, 4 pairs, and I had done in my previous slides, or unshielded twisted pair cables. Those are copper. You can try and inject or pass some power, needed power, using the data, copper that is used for data transmission also. So basically, the same copper.
संजय एक बार थोड़ा सा रुकूंगा. ट्रांसमिशन ओवर पावर केबल भी स्टार्ट हो गया है, इसका उल्टा भी स्टार्ट हो गया.
हाँ, मैं उस पे भी आऊंगा सर. फैंटास्टिक आइडिया, फैंटास्टिक थॉट. PGCIL तो कर भी रहा है.
PGCIL कर रहा है, right?
Correct. I'll come to that, but I think let's not do that now. I'll come to that at some point of time. But you're right. Yes, vice versa is also possible. Agreed. So on the LAN cable that you connect to your laptops, you can actually pass power also. The simplest example of that is voice over IP phones that we use in our offices. If you have gone to Vinay or Rajiv's seat, you would have seen IP phones that do not have power supply. At least my phone does not have a power supply. I just connect a LAN cable and it powers up. So power is coming from that LAN cable that is connecting to your voice VoIP phone. So this is some one technology that is evolved. So copper used for data transmission and copper used for power. Common denominator is copper, and we are using it to advantage. We can either transmit, like Rajiv said, transmission power cables पे हम data transmit कर सकते हैं, या data cables पे हम power transmit कर सकते हैं. Okay, let's move further. Fiber cables. I will rub this off. Fiber cables, like we had discussed before, copper and fiber, which is mentioned here. Fiber. So fiber cables use laser. Okay. Question in Delhi office. Congratulations, sir. We don't have. Congratulations. We don't have. So anyway, coming back to fiber, fiber is primarily used for higher long distances, and even more for higher capacities. We've discussed that before when we discussed copper and fiber. So I'll not. So cables are used, like for copper also cables are used, for fiber also cables are used. They're also known as patch cords, but we'll not go there. We'll skip it. We'll come to patch cords when it needs to come. Then further devices, copper cables. So I spoke about PoE, power over Ethernet, but that Ethernet is nothing but a Cat5 or Cat6 cable. Again, like I mentioned in my previous one of the earlier slides, shielded twisted pair or unshielded twisted pair cables. Right now, there are different types of cables: Cat5, Cat5e, Cat6, Cat6a. There's a lot of confusion, and all of the cables look the same, absolutely the same. No, then what is the difference, or what is the adaptation, or what is the technological difference? Very simple. In today's world, we use 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there is a message. Data transmission rate. Yes, that is what I'm showing here, Rajiv. Absolutely. Yeah, so your answer is right, that the difference between these cables is the data transmission rate. But in addition to that, there is a little more beyond data transmission rate, which is, let's say a Cat6 and a Cat6, sorry. There is a Cat6 and a Cat6A. Cat6 does 1 Gbps and 10 Gbps, but A means augmented, right? But if you see Cat5e and Cat6, they both are 1 Gbps. There is no difference of transmission rate. Then what is the advantage of having Cat6? That is because performance and distances increase. So my message is that it is not just yes, biggest thing is the transmission rate, but in addition to that, quality of the data that is going, or less amount of loss, higher performance, and long distances. That's why we move from Cat5e to 6. 6 to 6A is again data transmission rate. You transmit more speed, 1 Gbps to 10 Gbps. If you move to now, Cat7 is going to start off. It is already started off. If you see, it's again 10 Gbps, but again longer distances, and lesser interference and things like that. So, I'll take a pause again. I think this slide is done. So any questions, or should we continue? You feel free to ask questions, guys, if you feel there is something which you don't understand. Can I get some yeses if I can continue? Okay, Rajiv gives a yes. Another Rajiv gives a yes. Okay. All right. So now we move to some more devices and some more components. You have one question. Yes, Vivek. You can unmute and ask in POE, okay? आप unmute कर लो, आप पूछ लो. People can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, Vivek.
हाँ सर, ये पूछ रहा था कि POE केबल जो रहती है उसमें जो पावर मतलब भेजते हैं हम, तो वो एक सेम केबल रहती है जिसमें डेटा भी जाता है और पावर भी जाती है, कि अलग अलग केबल यूज करते हैं, मतलब वायर अलग अलग यूज करते हैं जो सिंगल पीस रहता है?
So it depends on how we utilize or what kind of power we transmit. Okay, that is a very, very important way to know, because see, when you are, let's say एक LAN cable है, okay, जिसमें 8 slim cables हैं, 4 pairs हैं, डेटा तो आपका 8 में जा रहा है, तो फिर आप पावर एडिशनली कहाँ से डालोगे? तो उसी केबल में ही आपको डालना पड़ेगा. So it does not go in a separate cable. It goes in the same cable where the data is also going and power is also going.
Okay.
Okay, so mostly VoIP phones या हमारे जो IP cameras भी लगे हुए ऑफिस में, वो भी VoIP से automatically power on होते हैं. I mean, I'm sure एक दिल्ली बॉम्बे ऑफिस में भी एक लगा हुआ है जो IP वाला है, कैमरा है. So yes, the same cable is used. Now, interestingly, we'll move. I can go deeper and deeper, but we will do it for later, or one-to-one chats, one-to-one conversations. We move to the next set of devices and components. Furthermore, hub, switch, router, bridge, and there are more, but I've brought all 4 together because I want to build a picture on this page, and then I'll explain all of them together. So what's a hub? If you see, the hub is here. If you see, the hub is here, right? In simple words, a hub is nothing but connecting multiple devices or hosts. You can say devices used for simple data transfer. But remember, hub is a extremely less intelligent device, which means that if you have, if data is coming, so let's say there is a hub here and it's connecting to 3 devices, and there's one device that is giving traffic to it. It will basically give to all the ports here, all the ports, it will give that traffic. Now, whoever is supposed to get it will claim it and will take it. But the hub is actually transmitting to everyone. This is basically, you can say, broadcast. जो मैंने 4 तरीके के transmission समझाए थे. Hub is something like a broadcast, one to all. इधर से आया सबको निकाल दो. अब ये डायग्राम से ये मत समझना, ये ऐसा भी होता है और ये ऐसा भी होता है. Okay, hub works like that, but basically it is broadcast, one to all, simple broadcast of data. That is a hub. Now you see switch, the next one. Switch is a level. Remember, hub is not so secure because it is broadcasting to everyone. So even if somebody who is not authorized to receive it, he will also be receiving it. He will be rejecting it, but still he will still be receiving it. So it is not so secure. But if you move to the next one, switch. It also works at the same layer how a hub works. LAN cable connect hota hai, जैसे switch में connect hota hai, hub में भी cable connect hota hai. But switch is little more intelligent because it filters and forwards. It doesn't send to everyone. It sends to specific destined ports or devices. So you can say a switch primarily does either a unicast or an advanced switch can even do multicast, or even you can say any cast. So it doesn't do simple broadcast. It intelligently identifies भाई A location से आया है, मुझे B, C, D तीनों को नहीं भेजना है, मुझे सिर्फ B को भेजना है. वो इंटेलिजेंस रहता है और वो वहां तक ही भेजता है. Then again, it have most likely, most of the time, the switches जो है वो एक ही नेटवर्क के अंदर होते हैं, एक नेटवर्क के बाहर नहीं होते. Okay. Let's say in one building there are 2-3 floors. Each floor has one switch, but it's the same office that is getting connected. If it is a switch, it can be bridge also, but we will talk about it. Now, I'll take a pause because ये थोड़ा सा tricky है. It starts getting a little bit technical, so I'll take a pause and see if anybody has any questions. Hub, simple broadcast, switch, intelligent casting or intelligent transmission to specific ports or devices. Any questions on this, or should I continue? Okay, I don't see any answer, which means I should continue. There seem to be no question. Okay. Then comes a router. Okay. Okay, I get a message. I only get a smile. Nice. So then comes a router. So router is a much more intelligent device than a switch or a hub. It connects multiple networks. So basically, this router will be connecting to another router somewhere, which will also have some switches and hubs and all that network. So the router connects between networks. For example, in Indovision Delhi office, there must be a router. I'm assuming there may be a router which will be connecting to the internet gateway through which we are actually reaching to the internet. Now that internet is also network. Vivek, I still have that question, what connects to internet and all that, and वो तुझे automatically clarity मिलेगी. I'm keeping that question aside for the moment, Vivek. So router connects multiple types of networks. Let's say our network or an internet network, some other company's network. Multiple networks are connected using routers. It can be a private network of ours to a public network of internet, or a public network of ours to some other private network, or public to public networks. So it can be a open public network or a closed private network. What are private networks, public networks? Public networks accessible on the internet in simple language. Private networks where we use VPN and we secure our data. So what is a router is. Now in layman terms, imagine router is a traffic policeman. He directs traffic coming from multiple directions, balances it out by averaging or by sending the right kind of traffic in the right side, so that there is no overflow at any point of time, and he manages the whole, traffic at any traffic light, traffic signal. Imagine a police cop at a traffic signal is nothing but a router. He is routing people, and router here routes data. That is all, right? Oh, I actually missed the alphabet here. And bridge. What's a bridge? Very simple. Bridge actually connects router, like I said, a router connects multiple networks. A bridge connects multiple sub networks within a network. That's it. Doesn't need to have the intelligence of a router. It just connects multiple floors of a company, or say, for example, a hospital has 7 floors, and second floor and fourth floor have a lab. So a lab is a separate VPN that they have, but it is connected via a bridge between them, whatever it is. So it is more like within a network, multiple sub networks are connected via bridges. You don't need a lot of intelligence or filtering of data to connect between sub networks. I'll take a pause again because it's starting to get a little bit technical. So I'll take a pause again and wait for questions, or should I continue? Do I get some yeses so that I can continue? I hope you're all hearing me, right? Up to yes aayenge. Okay, good. Sab so gaye. Router is required in all cases. Okay, good. No, router is not required in all cases. Simple answer. Router is not required in all cases. When you create office setups, you don't require router. Most likely you don't require router. When you connect to the internet, you may or may not require a router. Yes, you can manage with switch. And there are intelligent router switches which actually almost work like a router. You can use routing functionality in some switches also. We'll talk about those things later. L2 switch, L3 switch, and all that. We'll talk about that. So okay, I move further. The next item is a modem. Do I need to tell what a modem is? Simple words. Modem is a modulator and a demodulator. That's why it is MO for modulator and DEM is for demodulator. Converts analog to digital or digital to analog. Now, for example, I'm right now talking. My voice is analog. It is heard by this laptop, and then it converts my voice, analog voice, into digital data, which is in zeros and ones, binary, right? And then it is transmitted across the internet to you guys, where your laptop's modem, so there is a modem built inside your laptop as well as my laptop, which converts, or in an application in the laptop, probably Zoom, whatever it is. It could be an application, it could be a feature, whatever it is. So in simple view, you see your laptop is actually converting. Don't worry whether it's an application, whether it's a hardware. It is, in simple words, it is your laptop which is converting. So your laptop also is working as a modem here. We can discuss devices, components, slide 1 to 1 later on. Yes, later on we will do. We will not repeat it. Okay. Okay, sorry. This was a private chat. So yes, analog to digital. Again, my voice coming via a digital network, again converting to voice and coming to you. So your laptops and my laptop is working as a modem, converting voice. Similarly, in our in our homes, in few years back at our homes, we used to have internet modems. Right, today we have routers or geo fiber connections and all that, but there used to be a time where we used to have internet modems, where a telephone line, a voice telephone line, used to connect to those modems, and those modem used to convert analog voice of telephone connectivity to say, for example, data, to digital data, zeros and ones. So those modems that we used to have at our home, I think I heard today in some call that Rajiv, you still have a dial-up modem at your home of Vodafone or Airtel, right? Mittal sir, dial-up modem ही है ना वो आपका? Maybe he is not hearing to me. Anyway, so we have dial-up modems, and today our laptop is also a modem that converts analog to digital, digital to analog on the other side. So we move further. The next type of hardware is a repeater. वैसे मैंने word लिखा है amplifies, but let me go a little deeper into a repeater so that you get a little bit of understanding. What happens is, do I have, okay, then firewall. What happens is, let's say, let's take Indovision Delhi office. Okay, in the office there is like, it's like a bus. First is the entrance area, then there is a big hall, then there is a canteen, then there is a restroom, and then there is a conference room, then there is a empty some sort of space, and then there is a storeroom. You have all that. Now let's say you have a Wi-Fi access point or a Wi-Fi box lying near Dheeraj's seat in the beginning of the office. And what if it is not able to transmit the Wi-Fi signal till the storeroom in the end? What do you do? What you do is you put some sort of a repeater which picks up the traffic or picks up the signal of that Wi-Fi box, and then again amplifies it and then passes it on. So making it a little more technical, because now, right? Yes, you can call it as an extender also. Yes, true. That is also a right word. But there is some logic to this, which I think I can do now, because if I don't do it now, then we'll not be able to come back to repeaters again. So, for example, let me minimize this. For example, you have a signal of this modulation, of this quality. It is slowly deteriorating, right? It is slowly deteriorating. What you do is you bring in a repeater. It again increases the signal to the original level, and then again goes to a distance, and then again starts again deteriorating. You again add a repeater, it again amplifies the signal to its original value, and then takes it further. You use repeaters to amplify. What is amplification? Increasing it back to its original size, or even extrapolating it further. You are now, why do we need amplification or repeaters? Is to make sure you achieve the distance that you have to achieve. Let's say you have to transmit to 500 meters, but your antenna only can support 250 meters. Then you will need a repeater at 200 meters or 225 meters to extend it further. I'll again pause because it's getting a little technical. I'm pausing again and again and see if it's clear, or should I, is there any question? Can I continue? Okay, I can continue from Rajiv. Okay, so I'm guessing you're understanding what's a repeater. Okay, then firewall. What it does, it secures. In all our laptops, we have, we used to have these McAfee, Symantec, or even Windows firewall. There are so many, security companies that make firewall software. Now, for our laptops, I think these software firewalls are enough to block any kind of unauthorized usage or any, losing of data. But what about networks? Now you see in this diagram, in this page, a large network of routers and switches and hubs and terminals, desktops, and all these things. How do you secure that if from this network nothing is stolen, no data is stolen, or nobody hacks this network? What you do is, somewhere around this router, most of the time around this, somewhere here in this area, you deploy something like a firewall, but this is actually a physical firewall, and it is almost as big as the switch or as big as the router itself. Okay, the same type of security happens, but at a much higher level and more intelligent level. So an antivirus software in our laptops, secures us from say 10 things. A physical hardware in a network secures a network from say 100 things, because networks are prone to different kinds of attacks. There are different types of attacks called. We go to the next device, racks. Oops, sorry. I mean, I would say it was a passive device. It's a passive component, but this is where you deploy everything. When you go to a data center, or even in our own office, there must be some sort of a rack where we have installed some switches or some routers or some sort of equipment to either run it or test it. Or our IT guy must have some sort of a small rack where he would have installed some switch or something. So simple racks, घर पे भी रैक होते हैं, हम वहाँ कुछ और रखते हैं. ऑफिसेज में, डेटा सेंटर्स में अलग तरह के रैक होते हैं, वहाँ हम कुछ और ये डिप्लॉय करते हैं, which is switches and routers and all these equipments that you have mentioned above, hubs and firewalls, all of them are deployed in racks. So I will again stop here and see if anybody has any further questions. Okay, so I did not anticipate that I'll be able to complete this in 55 minutes, because I thought there may be questions and I may have to explain some of the things more. So that's why I have prepared only up to this and I have not gone beyond this. Now that in this slide and in the previous slide, we have seen what a server is, what a storage device is, types of storage, what is a switch, what is a router, what is a firewall. These are the things that we will start defining and positioning in data centers, in campus networks, or in offices, office setups, or in telecom networks. In all of them, we will be positioning these boxes or these components or these devices. So this slide, which has workstations, servers, storage, UPS, batteries, fiber cables, Cat5, Cat6 cables, and this slide which has all these things. These are the things, most of the items, I would say 80 to 90% of the items used in all IT and networking world are inside these two slides. Starts from copper fiber cables to racks to all the equipment that are installed. There are more equipments that will come, but then that is the next level where you can go into things like load balancers, you can go to unified communication systems and many things. So those are the things that we will go we'll do probably at a later stage. But these are the ones that are basics, easy to understand, knowing the functionality, and then we start positioning that what gets deployed where. In a data center, where does a server come? Sorry. In a data center, where does a server come, or where does a power supply come? Where is this used? Or in a data center, where a router comes, or where a firewall comes, or where a switch comes. So I'll stop here. I think I thought I will make it more interactive. A lot of people will ask, but it didn't happen. I am assuming people understood, and that is why people have not asked. But that is the end for today. I will again stop because we did only 4 or 5 slides today, but we went into the depth of each of the types of devices that we use in our day-to-day IT and networking areas. So questions, guys, or any feedback, any observations, any questions? You can also write to me one-to-one, but feel free to reply here also. And while you're not replying, I can also say one more thing, that these actually 2 slides, not even 3, 2 or 3 slides, you should also start practicing, because these are the devices that you will talk about to your customers. So when you're saying, sir, हम Juniper का router बेचते हैं, sir, हम Huawei का server बेचते हैं, Huawei का storage बेचते हैं. So you should know the function of that product that we are selling. So these 2 slides are more than enough. In simple layman English, these 2 slides are more than enough to explain to you what each of the device performs. So when the customer suddenly asks you, यार ये storage में ये है क्या? You can correlate things, or at least you will have a basic answer. Again, I think I would need some yeses to see if people have understood, or Somebody has not understood anything. Any yeses, guys, or any no's? What do I get? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So an hour done for the day today. I think we'll stick to this. I think these are very less amount of slides for you guys to see and understand and double click more by yourself. Like Vinay mentioned in the initial session also, while I'm doing these sessions, then it is up to you to look in Google or Wikipedia or, for example, YouTube's and see use cases, understand things, and ask more and more questions. Feel free to write questions to me, and I'm taking the liberty of adding Rajiv also to this. That feel free to write any questions to me or Rajiv, if at all you have any queries. But yeah, you should put your own efforts to double click more and ask more and learn more by yourself. Okay, all right. So because I don't see any more feedbacks, I think we'll end the session today. Before I end the session, any finishing words from anyone?
So Sanjay, so I think component wise, if we see, or the devices wise, then still there are so many devices which are left. Yes. For example, like CCTV or PBX, yes. Or
yes.
IP phone, and
yes. So if you, point taken, and those are again terminating devices. Most of them are terminating devices, which we will use. But those are devices which are easy to gather because they are anyway endpoints. A CCTV camera is an endpoint, or say a VoIP phone or a digital phone, or these are all endpoints. And endpoints, we will position them, but they are used by users, and we are building networks. So that is why I have kept them out. I have kept to this only. I can do that in the next one. I'll add a slide where I explain those endpoints also.
Or maybe what we can do, maybe we can discuss two architecture. One data center and another is campus, network.
My slide is ready.
Then whatever is
my slide is ready. I don't want to do it now, but yes, I have already decided.
That is fine. But I am saying that in those two architecture, then whatever component or devices is left out, maybe we can discuss those, in those slide itself.
Yeah. Correct. So in the next session, we'll spend an hour and 30 minutes on data center and 30 minutes on campus networks. Or campus networks, I would rather call them campus and branch networking. I'll tell why later, but yes, data centers and campus and branch networks. So we'll do both in the next session on Friday.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, and while I do that, we will also use the names of the OEMs, the manufacturers like Huawei, Cisco, Juniper. Now we know the boxes, now we know the devices. We need to know the companies who manufacture them and the companies with whom we have partnered to sell them. So
Sanjay, maybe I'll share 2-3 slides with you. Actually, we have done that kind of a thing.
Okay.
Where we have segmentize those devices, and then we have put the OEM also whom we work with.
Okay.
So those 2-3 slides maybe I can share with you, which you can discuss in your call.
Sure.
Or maybe I can discuss in that call.
Sure. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
And then we meet on Friday again. Thank you, guys. Bye. Take care.